Since starting our YouTube channel, the country that has given us consistently the greatest amount of support is the United States of America. So this project is to celebrate the 4th of July, but also we are celebrating the fantastic support that you continue to give us. For any of you who might be interested in having a go at making this project yourself, you can find the designs that we drew out available for free for you to download, print off, and use on our website. Focusing our attention on the process of making, we are using a combination of hardwoods for the eagle design, and then softwoods and plywoods for the flag backgrounds. We start off by marking the designs that we have previously drawn out on the wood itself, and then cut the wood to the size and shape to make the process of making that little bit easier. We prepare all of the wood before we get started, and then add the designs using a PVA glue solution to the wood itself. We leave those designs to dry out and also stack the two pieces of wood together that afterwards will be used to make the wings of our eagle. Using different colours of wood gives this project a different dimension. We are using golden oak for those claws and the beak of our eagle. We are using a pale white maple for the tail and the head. And we are using a brown coloured mahogany for the body and the wings. We're also using our Starbond superglue to help us put together the different parts of the project later on. So for example, we have superglued the golden oak layer of the beak to the rest of the head of the eagle. This means the golden layer of the oak on top of the maple will fit into the gap that is cut out accurately and precisely. Additionally, the maple piece that we cut away on the scroll saw can be used later on because we want that golden beak to be raised in front of the rest of the eagle's head. To add some additional interest to the wings, we're using some pierce work to create that effect of feathers. We're using stack cutting on the wings, and this allows you to get two wings that are as close to being identical as possible. We start with our pierce work first of all, doing all of the internal cuts on the project, and then afterwards we cut the outline and the surround of the eagle wings. We go across to the workbench and we separate those layers where we've superglued them together. Once again, we use that method where we stick the wings in position on the body using the Starbond superglue, back across to the scroll saw, and then cut that shape for the wings and the body, allowing them to perfectly line up together afterwards. We then cut the outline shape for the head, and then the final part of scroll sawing on the main body of the eagle design is to cut the surround and the pierce work for the tail feathers. We go on to cutting out the outline that will create the image of those claws that will be stuck afterwards on top of the main body of our eagle design. From here, now that we have cut out all the different parts of the eagle design, we go across to the belt sander and we just refine the finish using a higher number grit. This is all part then of preparing the wood and taking us from the scroll sawing aspect of making this project into the hand carving aspect. And as we mentioned previously, we use these skills together. At this stage, our eagle is well on its way to taking shape. So our attention turns to creating our flag background. The first part of the process is to work on the stars, the 50 stars that are on the flag representing the separate states that make up the United States of America. Stack cutting is the order of the day. We have used the other method that we mentioned for marking out, so using carbon paper, and I am also using a higher number scroll saw blade for this particular project. So the stars are being cut out in maple because it has that white colour. However, maple can be quite demanding when it comes to cutting out on the scroll saw, and I am stack cutting 3 layers together, giving us quite a thick piece of wood to cut. So by using a number 12 Nikwa Speed reverse tooth blade as opposed to the number 9, it allows me to cut out slightly easier. Once we got our 50 stars cut out, our attention then goes on to the 13 stripes that are on the flag. To do this, we are using softwood because it is the background for our design. We are using spray paints to get the different colours, the reds, the whites, and the blues on our flag. So we add several coats of spray paint, adding the white spray to 6 of the stripes, and the red spray to 7 of the stripes. Wait for it all to dry, and then proceed to cut each layer to the right thickness, width, and length. The next part of the process is to get that blue background that our 50 stars will be placed onto. So now we have the majority of the design together, we mark out the size and shape that aspect will be cut to. Using a set square and then onto the bandsaw, we prepare the top left-hand corner of our design. Now that we have this organized, we can put it in place and then decide the precise length that we want for each and every one of our stripes. This is where our coronet saw is perfect for a job like this because it has a high level of accuracy. It allows us to cut everything to the desired length. That plywood panel that we will use to stick the 50 stars to, we spray a blue color, so covering that with several coats of spray paint, and wait then for that to dry, and super glue, using once again that Star Bond super glue each and every star into position. Myself, I have done this freehand, using my eye to judge the correct position of each star. But if you are more comfortable, you can mark the position of each one to get it more accurate. From here, I use my hand carving skills to just shape each and every one of those stars. We then super glue our eagle together and proceed to hand carve each aspect of the eagle design. So starting off, we have to shape and get the depth and detail correct on the 2 claws. And on the wings, we are trying to create that rough effect of the feathers of the eagle. Once we've finished shaping the wings, we then go across to the tail feathers. And again, we are creating the effect of several tail feathers on the design. At this stage, we have the separate aspects of our design prepared, and our attention goes across to putting everything together. So once more, we mark everything out. So using a pencil and then a spike, we mark out where each and every one of the stripes will be attached to a backing board. We use a drill to drill holes into the backing board and then proceed to screw the stripes to the backing board. There are of course other methods that you could use, but as the back of this design will not be seen, we felt that screwing the stripes was the most effective and practical method to use. Super glue our eagle into position on the American flag. From here, our attention goes across to the finishing of the project. So now we have everything together. We add 3 coats of shellac sanding sealer, and on the wood parts, we will rub it down in between each coat. We don't do that on the paint because you would start to remove the paint. Additionally, you could add an extra finish of linseed oil mixed with beeswax. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing the process of that being made. If this is something you've enjoyed watching, let us know, because we have got ideas and plans for making other flags as well. Thank you again for watching. If you have enjoyed that, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. And as always, we'll be back again soon with more videos.